I'm Paul Barrett, CEO of Rome Resources. We are exploring for tin and copper in the DRC.
You are, and you've been drilling, which is the good news. So are you finding anything?
Yes, we are. We'll probably put a further announcement out next week. We've got one hole which has given us some good indications that we're now drilling a couple extra holes to just to chase that. And we don't have the assays as yet. We have the first batch of core off to the lab, and then we're probably a couple of weeks away from that. So this will be a conveyor belt of results coming in, as we get the core out and get the results back. So it's going very well. It's going very well at the moment in terms of the drilling.
And what's happening on the ground? Obviously, people think of DRC and they think it must be difficult to actually do anything on the ground. Last time out, we spoke about a number of drills on the ground. I mean, how many are operating now?
Well, we've now got the fourth rig on site. South Africa came up. There's quite a tortuous route from Johannesburg, but basically it's now operating. We got the helicopters to move it in the last couple of days. I think the thing about this operation is that it's a remote operation. There's no road access, but it's no different to any other remote operation in Africa or any other kind of continent in that respect, because the helicopter operations are what really keeps the project alive in terms of refueling and positioning rigs, etc., etc. Mark Gasson and I went out with Jamie Anderson a couple of weeks ago now. So, absolutely fine. Travel and transport and operations are all exactly what you'd expect in Africa.
Okay. Right. So just back on the drilling. So how many meters did you drill? It says in the press release that you've sort of done 1,000 on Kalea and just over 330 on Montagoma.
Yeah. Just lagging behind, sorry, because we only had one rig on there. Now we've got two.
Right. Okay. And what's the drill program look like? Can you remind me?
3,000 is the target. Okay. We are contemplating whether we try and go for more, extend the program. And once you've got, as I said about remote operations, once you've got the helicopter and the logistics in place, including all the camp, the operating camp and everything else and the supply bases, it makes sense to try and keep going and do as much as you can in one program. So we may be thinking about extending. It just depends on where the results are sometime in November. So, but in the meantime, we're just plugging away and getting holes drilled.
Okay, fine. Well, all I was doing was sort of checking in and sort of see if the drills got there, if the drills are turning, and when can we expect results. Sounds like November is what we should be looking at for next. I mean, tin seems to be holding at around 32,500 per ton at the moment. Any reason to believe that's going to change up or down?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I think the short term is kind of everybody knows what the situation is. Longer term, of course, there's the supply, bit of a supply squeeze, demand increasing, and some of the problems around the world in terms of supply. So I can't see there's any downward pressure on the price. Let's put it that way. And I think certainly at 32 or 33,000 a ton, an operation. As we say, Alpha Min is just down the road. It's very, very similar play, very similar geology. And so that operation has basically a net revenue of 20,000 per ton at the moment, which is very, very healthy.
A nice comp indeed. Well, I appreciate your time today, Paul. Thanks for checking in. I'll probably call you again in about a month's time, see how you got on with some of those assays, okay?
Yep. Okay. Sooner the better.